Travis Hunter is a franchise-changing player for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And right now, he's listed as the starting wide receiver 2 for the Jags next to Brian Thomas Jr. And he's also listed as the backup left corner behind Jerrion Jones on the defensive side of the ball as well. Now, the haters will say, how can a player who's a wide receiver 2 and a backup corner really change a franchise? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, the move itself gives a sense of urgency to the organization. You traded your next year's first round pick to go get Travis Hunter. That puts you immediately into win now mode. You must win this season in Jacksonville. It puts a microscope on Trevor Lawrence, your former generational quarterback that was drafted number 1 overall in 2020, forcing him to now produce and giving him zero excuses given the talent on this offense. And it puts competitive pressure around everyone around him on the Jags depth chart. It's going to push Brian Thomas Jr. to another level, having someone else to push him. It's going to give the cornerback room that was one of the worst in football to move to a different level as well, because there's a guy there that can take your job instantly as well. And it's going to put pressure on Liam Cohen, the new head coach for the Jaguars, to win in his first year with the talent they have on this team and the lack of talent they have in the division as well, to make a run at that division right away. And according to ESPN Jags reporter Michael DeRocco, through 15 training camp practices, combining 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 reps, Hunter has played 364 snaps, 188 on offense and 176 on defense. So maybe a slight advantage to the offensive side, but they are going to play this man a lot this year on both sides of the ball. Hunter is exactly what a middling Jacksonville Jaguars franchise needed. It's a boost of talent, energy, and enthusiasm that will change the trajectory of this franchise going forward. And I believe they have a great chance to win the AFC South in 2025 because of it. I am going to kick it to these guys, though. What do you guys think about this Travis Hunter situation going on with the Jags? What do you think his role is going to be for Jacksonville here coming up in 2025?
Well, I think clearly that Travis Hunter was a franchise-changing pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's no secret. Okay, the Jaguars had a disappointing 2024 and an even more disappointing 2023. It's been rough. What I will say is that them trading up for Travis Hunter.
I get those goosebumps every time.
Don't start. The drafting of Travis Hunter definitely changes their projection, I think, for this year. Now, for Travis Hunter, I think what the Jaguars are going to do is a bit different. There's no way they're just going to throw him into the fire immediately. Okay, even though he's a very talented corner, and in my opinion, I probably prefer him at corner than wide receiver. It's a different level. It's a different level in the NFL sphere. I think they're going to ease him. I think wide receiver is easier for him to adapt to because he's under Brian Thomas Jr., who's going to be the de facto wide receiver 1, right? They have Liam Cohen, who's a bright young mind from Tampa Bay, who I think is going to implement him into the system seamlessly. And I think cornerback, they're not going to start him at the beginning of the year, but I think halfway through the year, they're going to start really unleashing him. I don't think they're going to have him play a lot of snaps during these first couple of games. I think they want to really try to develop him physically, and towards the later season, if there is a push to win the division or make the playoffs, they want him to be fresh and ready to go and have him play both sides at a high level. In the NFL level, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that for all 18 games. I don't know if that's possible. And if he does do it, it's going to be very impressive. But I think they're going to moderate his snaps throughout the weeks. And I think eventually he's going to get the hang of it. But something tells me that I don't know how long Travis Hunter's peak is going to last. We don't know how long it's going to last. We know there's going to be a peak. But for all we know, it could be 2 years. It could be 3 years. It could only be a year. We don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, I think they're going to moderate it for now. And eventually, I think Travis Hunter is going to get comfortable.
Yeah, I can see them moderating it for sure. But at the same time, you traded a first round pick to get up to number 2 overall to go get this guy, So it's like at a certain point, like you mentioned, at a certain point, you gotta let him go. Like you gotta let him go. You gotta see what you got, because you don't trade a first round pick next year just for a wide receiver or just for a corner. You trade it for both, because that's what Travis Hunter did in college at the highest level, and now he's going to try to do it at the NFL at the highest level. So yeah, like you mentioned, Sam, maybe they moderate it a little bit at the start, but they got to let him go at a certain point. But
no, eventually they got to let us go. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Joe, what do you think, man? What do you think about this whole Travis Hunter situation going on in Jacksonville right now?
I mean, they gave us the blueprint on how they plan to use him. They're going to use him in situations on offense and specific situations on defense. They saw what he had. I mean, you know how preseason is. It's go out there and play football. Base defenses, base offenses, go out there and do it. Now, you kind of saw he's a rookie. How did you tell he's a rookie? Well, when Caleb Johnson dribbled him off the ground on an open field tackle with a stiff arm, you could tell as a corner, you got to be able to take those guys down. He's a rookie. He didn't always face guys at Colorado that are Caleb Johnson's size. Bad news. Every starting running back in the NFL is Caleb Johnson's size, and they're all going to be good at stiff arming you. You're going to see Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley. These are all guys you're going to have to see at some point in time in your career. He's going to have to learn. But the good news is he's a rookie. Now, to Sammy's point, you're not going to get the longevity out of him. I think that you have to either decide that he's a gadget player and you use him in key situations when you want to use him on offense and he plays most of his time on defense, or you use him in key situations on defense and he's a full-time player on offense. I don't think you can sustain a career or even a season where you play 600 snaps either side of the ball in the NFL. You're facing professional athletes. These guys put a lot of time in their body. This is the 1% of college players that see these things, right? It's a very elite group. You don't see people do that in today's NFL. There's a reason for it. It's too much strain on the body. He's going to have to choose a side eventually. I think early on, you're going to see him on either side of the ball. In the NFL, being a master wide receiver or a master corner is better than being a good wide receiver and good corner half the time, because that's all you can play either position. But to your guys' point, he's a dynamic player. He's a franchise player, and he's got to be because you spent that much capital on him. Like, he doesn't have a choice, right? Especially when you have a guy like who's been touted like Trevor Lawrence. You have to perform. When you're a corner, you're expected to, even on a bad team. I mean, Christian Gonzalez is rated as one of the top 10 corners in the league. He's been on a bad team since he's been in the NFL. That is not a good Patriots team he's been on, right? But he's still top 10. Travis Hunter has to do something like that on both sides of the ball if he's going to play both sides of the ball. If he's a top 10 corner, but he's something like, the 28th best wide receiver, do we say that, he's a good wide receiver? When was the last time a corner was drafted that high? Right? Just a pure corner, right? They have to be damn good, right? You're expecting like something borderline all-pro rookie season from that kind of corner. You're expecting something close to that, right? Like you're talking about something decent from a wide receiver who's drafted that high, right? That's, a rarefied air to go that high as a wide receiver. He went that high because of his impact on both sides of the ball, but I don't know if you're going to see that return year one in Jacksonville, because I just think that, unfortunately for Travis Hunter, with how highly he was drafted, with what the Jacksonville Jaguars gave up, the pressure to perform is going to be there, and there's going to be a lot of people questioning midseason if he's a bust, or if he was worth the draft time. I think that's my bold prediction of Travis Hunter come midseason. Did the Jaguars spend too much to go get Travis Hunter based on what they're getting back from him?
I mean, if they use him how you guys are suggesting, like if they use him as a gadget guy on offense and then, he plays a lot of defense, people are going to be questioning that because, again, you don't trade up for a gadget guy. You trade up, you trade for a next year's first round pick for a guy that you believe is going to play a lot of snaps on both sides of the ball, the majority of the snaps on both sides of the ball. And you guys both brought into question the longevity aspect of it. I think for me, you gotta, I don't want to say run him into the ground to a certain extent, but you gotta see what you got, and then eventually, if he starts having injuries pile up, then it's like, okay, 2 or 3 years down the road, let's have him pick a side. But I think right now, while he's young and while he's got the fresh legs and while he's capable of doing it, I think you run him out there and see what he can do. But to your point, Joe, I think he's probably a little bit better as a corner, but I think he's probably going to play a little bit more on offense just because of a wide receiver in today's NFL is more valuable than just about anything else. Like you see these contracts that the receivers are getting paid versus, a lot of the other positions. Like a top receiver is going to get paid more than a top corner because receiver is just a more valuable position now. So I think, and Trevor Lawrence talked about it as well. He was like, Travis, do you want to, get a couple pass deflections and a couple tackles, or do you want to go on the offensive side and get, 7 grabs for 100 yards and a touchdown? It's like that guy getting 7 grabs for 100 yards and a touchdown is more valuable than a guy who's getting a couple pass deflections. So it's a super, super interesting discussion here with Travis Hunter. And whether you like it or not, we're all going to be tuned in to the Jacksonville Jaguars this year because of it.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.